What's going on, guys? And happy holidays. Geeking and Drinking coming at you with episode 63. Let's get it going. Hey guys, and welcome once again, like I said, to another episode of Geekin and Drinking. Happy holidays. I'm Eddie.
I'm Steven.
And boy, oh boy, do we have a episode for you guys. It is, at this time of recording, it is December 20th. This episode probably won't come out till, maybe later on this week. So we're going to take this episode and we're going to just go full spoilers.
Yeah, because hopefully by the time this episode is available for you to listen and watch, you would have already seen everything that we've been talking about. Well, the two things we're going to talk about.
And of course, the main thing is Spider-Man. We've both seen Spider-Man. Spider-Man is probably like the main thing that everybody's been waiting for. Some could even say it's even a bigger event than the Avengers movies. I don't know. Yeah, I think
probably just as big as Endgame.
I think as of today, it is the highest grossing, the second highest opening for a box for any movie behind Endgame, which is crazy to say in this time, in COVID time, post-COVID. So yeah, this movie, we'll get into it, but yes, I'm just so excited to talk about it. I mean, Jesus Christ. But we do have plenty of beer to showcase for you guys today. So
and to help us get through this.
Yes, so we're going to go ahead and bust those out right now. I bought a 6-pack and Steven bought 2 6-packs. So a little bit mix and match. Steven, I mixed them all up. So first, sorry guys, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. It's the end of the year. This is going to be our last full episode of the podcast of the year.
Maybe.
Yeah, possibly. We
got some things in the works.
We got some things in the work that we're gonna probably release before the year ends. But as of right now, this is the last full length episode. So after this, we're gonna be doing a little something different. But we'll get there when we get there. But right now, we want to get right here where we're at right now with these beers that we have. So Steven, what did you bring me today? Because this looks...
So I picked up this one from we haven't featured any of their beers in a while. From our friends in Austin, Fourth Tap Brewing Co-op. This one is their Gingerbread House Party Winter Ale. So I was like, you know what? Let's keep it with the holidays, man, and let's just go for it. And it looks pretty interesting. It's really cute. Yeah. And so
I'm not finding the alcohol in this thing, but from what it's saying, it has a full body, so it's going to be a little dark. Hoppiness is very little hoppiness, and it's sweet. It's not so much bitter, so it's a winter. Winter beers tend to be a little more, kind of on the sweeter side, which nothing wrong with that. But we had that St. Arnold's winter ale last episode, right? Yeah, and that one we had a little bit of technical difficulty, so that episode came out a little late. But I want to thank everybody who's already shown up to watch that last episode. Ooh, another foam! Oh my god! I hate doing that so much. But yeah, thank you for everybody who's checked out our last. Yeah, it's really foamy. Everybody checked that last episode. What were we talking? We're talking about a bunch of stuff.
It's a little bit of theories, Spider-Man theories.
Hawkeye. Hawkeye, yes, Hawkeye, dude. So when we record last episode, I think we were only 2 episodes in. That show's picked up.
Maybe 3.
But goddamn, that show has picked up. As of this week, we're getting our the last episode, I think, in 2 more days. So, I can't wait to see where that leads us. But I guess we just get into it right off the back. I mean, I know we're going to spend a lot of time talking about Spider-Man, so let's because we got episode 5 of Hawkeye last week, which is titled Ronin. And from the last episode to our last episode, at least, when we talked about the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye until now, a lot Dude, the show has picked up, and it's crazy for a show that's only like what 40 minutes long, 45 at the most. Not a long show. It kind of it comes and goes really quickly. So, but as quickly as it comes and goes, it leaves a big impression each episode. At least in my opinion, we've gotten some big reviews. Yelena from Black Widow is come into the picture. And I never realized how much I needed Florence Pugh and Haley Steinfeld in a scene together. Then when I actually got it, and I'm like, this is amazing. So right now we're in episode 5. What do you think of the show so far? Are you liking it? Is it slow? Next week we get the last episode. Do you think they're gonna be able to wrap it up? What are your thoughts?
So I mean, we're only getting 6 episodes of this?
Yeah.
So I'm really curious of how this is going to work out, just because of the fact that it looks like a little Hazy there. Mm-hmm. Just because of the fact that, I mean, it is a little slow at first. I mean, it's really good. It's got some really good storytelling, and I'm kind of enjoying what they're doing with the Ronin character. They're exploring it a little bit more, than what we got in Avengers Endgame. Obviously he was just Black Widow finding him, and he was wearing the Ronin outfit, and but it's going a little bit more into his background of what he did, why he was doing it,
and also the repercussions of not so much repercussions, but like kind of like they're not letting it go on what am I looking for, like unspoken, I guess. They're like addressing he has a past, and it's not something that can be easily brushed under the rug, is what I'm trying to get at. I'm definitely enjoying this show as it goes on and on and on. Again, guys, we don't like to do non-spoiler stuff on this episode. We rather just wait, and to do this stuff. So, we're gonna just go full spoilers right off the back. This last episode left us with a huge cliffhanger that everybody has been kind of theorizing about. That.
Well, speaking of huge, what did you think about that huge arrow? The pin.
Oh arrow. Yeah, and that was in episode 3. Oh, dude, I think that was like because episode 3 was when it started picking up, and that's when they had the little car sequence with the one shot. And then we get the badass scene where he's like, like he tells Kate to shoot an arrow, and he's aiming, and it zooms out, and it's a Pym arrow, and it's just like, what? And then it's just like, come on, like that's cool, like, that's so cool. Like I said, like this show is definitely picked up. I know Hawkeye is like the punching bag of the Avengers. Everybody's always dogging on him, because he's running around with bow and arrow. But I've always thought he always had like a special place. I mean,
he was always one of my favorite characters. I mean, even in the comic books and the video games, like I know he was like in some of the video games that they featured him as a featured character, and I would always want to be Hawkeye. It was like Hawkeye was one of my favorites. That wasn't like a non-super powered hero, just a regular guy with arrows.
So one of the things that coming out of this show, obviously we got Echo, who is I forget her last name, but her name is Maya in the show. She's the deaf actress who's the character in the show is deaf, and the actress is also deaf in real life.
Isn't she supposed to be getting her own show?
Yeah, she's supposed to get her own show, and this is her first credit, like her first anything. So I was like, that's pretty cool, Anyway, but like, she has a thing in the comics where eventually, like, she works under the Kingpin. So right away, everybody was like, well, like this is kind of like tackling like a like the crime in New York. So, who else is famous for running the crime in New York is Kingpin. So it's been a major speculation from, I think, like probably like as far as I know, from episode 3 of this show, everybody's like, oh, Kingpin definitely, because there's one part where they show Maya when she's little and her uncle, and he's a big old hand. I mean, that's Kingpin.
I mean, I'm going to go right off the bat too. I'm just going to say, like, okay, I kind of like was like guessing on it, but I didn't want to get myself excited and for something to not happen. Because like you said, they only show like his big old hand and whatnot.
And they keep referring to him as the big guy.
The big guy, your boss, your boss. And I was just like, oh man, it can be. And then like a week before this episode premiered, what's the actor's name? Vincent
D'Onofrio.
I can never pronounce that last name.
D'Onofrio.
They had announced like, Vincent D'Onofrio is very interested in reprising his role as Kingpin in the MCU, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like that'd be awesome if they featured him in the in like the Hawkeye. That would be a good introduction. Mm-hmm. And that's when we get the big old hand, the boss, big guy. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, no. And then we get this last episode, and should I just reveal it? I mean, boom. Yeah. Haley Steinfeld's character, Katie Bishop, was like freaking out, and she's like, who is Dad with my mom?
Yeah.
And Hawkeye's just like, that's the guy I've been worried about.
It's Kingpin.
And it says Kingpin, and it shows him. I was like, what? I was like, no. I was like, oh. I was like,
dude, I had work that day because it comes out on
Wednesday.
So I had work that morning. I got off work. I was super tired. And I was like, man, I got to watch it. Like, I have to watch it. Like, I want to watch it because the show's been really picking up. So I want to watch it. And even before the review, the reveal, the show itself, the episode was good. There wasn't a lot of action, but me, like, I love a lot of dialogue, and you get that amazing scene with Haley Steinfeld and Florence Pugh where they're just talking. I'm just like, this mirrors the same scene, not the same scene, but this is similar to like the scene in Civil War with Tony Stark and Captain America. They're just sitting there talking, and I was like, I love that. So that was really cool to see. And as the episode progressed and we do get the review, like I was like, holy shit! Like I was seriously sitting there. I was like, oh my god! I was like, were you kidding me? Like, and I was like, oh, and it just ends. I'm just like. And I was like watching the credits, like, and it says, and then there you go, and the credits. Vincent D'Onofrio, I'm like, oh my god! I was like,
and I knew something was gonna happen too because even before I saw the episode, you made a little story on Instagram and was like, "Oh my god, Hawkeye's getting really good." I didn't
say anything though.
Yeah, but they kind of like.
This show is getting me hyped. It's really good.
But
and I was like,
as opposed to like a normal person who's enjoying the show and is watching it and is not really paying attention to all these other. Things in the background, like I said, how there was a little piece that said that Vincent would love to reprise his role as Kingpin. Someone that that's just like that. They probably wouldn't pick up on it. I picked up on it as soon as you hit the story. I was like, oh my god, okay. But I was still a little skeptical on it because I was just like, it's either a yes or no. I mean, or they introduce another new character. I go, I don't know. We got to see what's gonna happen. I mean, we already had guy in Florence Pugh's character come out, and so that was really cool. We kind of expected that. I almost kind of forgot about it too until she came out. I was like, oh shit, that's Yelena.
Yeah, and the same thing with that too. Like, I mean, like there was so much speculation around it, so I was like, it was already in my head. Like, okay, it's gonna happen, or not that it's gonna happen. I'm like, okay, like hope it might happen. So it was similar to another thing that we'll talk about later. But I was just like, oh shit, like damn, like there. So, I mean, I don't know, like, I mean, without going too much into it, because without diving into
another thing I want to say too is that another thing I kind of picked up on the just from watching the first 5 episodes, from The Conjuring.
Vera Farmiga.
Yeah, I kind of figured her character was going to be involved in a different way, as far as like she's going to be a bad guy, not the guy that we're all expecting to be the bad guy.
Jack Duquesne.
Yeah,
that dude is funny. Yeah, and I guess another thing too that everybody's like, yeah, no, it's the mom. The mom's the one that's but also too, like, if you really dive into the show, there's a lot of layers in it as far as like. Kate is going through the show living like a fantasy, living a fantasy out. Like, this show deals a lot with how we hold these heroes up to a pedestal. like, and she she adores Hawkeye. That's her idol, and not knowing that he's done all this dark stuff in his past, he even tells her like, this comes with a price. Really really putting the weight on what it is that he's doing as far as being a superhero. And at that too, like there was even that one scene where she was sitting with her mom and her mom's boyfriend is Jack, who she's suspicious of. But they had this really cute family moment where like he's like dancing with her and she's like, I never seen you so happy. And like they show you those moments because they show you how much like Kate like so that way later on when she finds out that her mom is probably one of the villains, it's gonna hurt even more because it's gonna sting even more because they show you like that she's really like, her and mom have this bond, and they show you this stuff on purpose. So like this show is to me like,
she's gonna have to make that ultimate decision.
Yes, then that is what it is. She's she's always like, I could be a superhero. I could take it. No, I could take it. Like, I know what I'm getting myself into. I don't think you do. Not yet, at least.
Yeah.
And next episode, I think we're going to find out if she really has what it takes and if she's going to make that ultimate sacrifice, whether it's sacrificing her mom, whether it's, killing her mom, whatever it is. Something she's going to have to make a big sacrifice involving her family. And I think the way they're doing it is really smart. And the people that they're surrounding Kate with, like with Hawkeye and then now with Elena, like, and there was that even story too where he tells, she asks Clint, he was like, what's the best shot you took? He's like, the one that I never took. When he's talking about how when he was sent to take out Black Widow, and he had his aerodrome, but he didn't take the shot, and then they ended up becoming partners and allies and friends, and they even become family. Later in the episode is when Elena comes in, and she has a shot at Elena, and she doesn't take it. I think that perfectly mirrors Black Widow and Hawkeye's relationship. Going down a generation now with Kate Bishop and Elena. I think it's perfect. I think it's all done on purpose. And I am a little worried. About how they're gonna wrap up everything. A lot of criticism that I hear for these shows, these Marvel shows, that they don't really wrap up all that great. I don't really have that issue. I mean, yeah, I could see it. The last episode of some of these shows are good, but they're not the best. And so I could see why people are worried about it. But, I'm just eager to see.
Okay, well, before we end on Hawkeye and go into our main topic, let's discuss that real quick. I can see where people are coming with that, but at the same time, there's a reason for that. I mean, okay, first show, WandaVision. I mean, obviously it's going to end the way it ends because she's going to be featured in the Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. Mm-hmm. So obviously that's going to have to end a certain way where it's not going to leave you satisfied.
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's obviously going to lead into Captain America 4. Mm-hmm. So boom, that's a given. So, why are they going to conclude it? A lot of these characters are also going to be part of either come out in the big screen
or
second seasons or spin-off shows.
Yeah.
Loki.
Second season,
and Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And the Quantum Realm.
Yeah.
And then now
that's the thing too. Like, I think because these shows are part of the Phase 4.
Yeah, because even Kevin Feige said himself, like, if you want to know what's going to happen in this next phase, you had to also watch the shows.
Yeah, and I think these shows are setting the bar for what's good to come. Like his timelines, alternate timelines, time travel, that shit's confusing.
Yeah.
And if you take the time to kind of introduce it in the show like they did Loki, or like they did with WandaVision, as far as like messing with reality,
and that's what also What If is for too.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I like that. What If it was was an animated series as opposed to a live action, because I mean there was a lot going on in there that I'm sure that they had limited budgets for.
Yeah. So. Yeah, So you do make a lot of you do make a point that it's not supposed to wrap up. It's setting the groundwork for what's to come for this new phase, because there's a lot of shit coming for this phase, as we've seen with this You know,
and that's
with
what
the movies that we've already gotten.
That's what the MCU is doing real smart with, is that they're making these shows, because instead of having us just like wait for the next movie, and then wait years for like a Hawkeye movie or a finally a Winter Soldier movie or something like that. You know, they're giving it to us already. You know, but in these small, little, like, mini movies.
Yeah.
If you want to say
that's what
whatever.
they are. They're basically like movies, just broken up into episodes. Like they're shot like movies. They feel like movies, and they have characters that we love and know from the movies. My question to you is, and this could be the last question until we move on. Do you think Hawkeye's gonna eat it?
No.
I
really no. I don't know. I don't want him to. I really don't want him to. I'm a big fan of Jeremy Renner. When I found out that he was coming out to be Hawkeye, I was super excited for that. He's been doing a really good job on it since the beginning, since his little cameo in Thor, to his full presence in Avengers, all the way up to now, and it's like just to end him, I don't know.
Right, and I kind of feel like it'll be irresponsible for them to have him and Natasha go through the whole thing where like one of them's gonna die and then she dies, just for them to kill him on his own show. Like, yeah. It doesn't seem.
And I mean, originally it wasn't even supposed to be his own show. He was supposed to have his own movie as well.
Yeah, I think so.
But they decided to let's go ahead and do let's do a show instead, and he agreed upon it. And I think because he felt that you could get more out of it.
And I think also too, like, he deserves to go home to his kids and his family. God damn it!
I mean, if he decides to be like a retiree and a mentor, I could live with that. Mm-hmm. And kind of pass off the mantle to Kate Bishop. Yeah, I could live with that. But just to kill him off, like you said, to have him, Black Widow, have that confrontation they did in Endgame, and for her to sacrifice herself and him to live, and then all of a sudden just to kill him off, that's just lazy. That's super lazy.
That's almost as lazy as killing Black Widow and then giving her her own movie. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I can't wait. Actually, in a couple, in another day, we're gonna get the last episode, so we'll see where it takes us in. Because, I mean, that show is really good, and I mean, like I said, the first 2 episodes, I was like, okay, this is kind of boring, and then it started picking up. I'm like, okay.
And I know we've done spoilers again, but we just been having little technical difficulties with our equipment, so we don't know when the show will finally air. Hoping not too long, but go watch the show. Go watch Hawkeye. Hawkeye, I mean, it's a really good show. I mean, any of the MCU shows, go watch them. But
it's on Disney Plus. It's free.
Definitely go watch them. So to kind of wrap it up and jump into our next topic, I was a little curious about how this was going to work between Hawkeye and Spider-Man, because in the timelines, because of the fact that obviously Hawkeye is around Christmas time. And then Spider-Man was like, I mean, and it's not like Hawkeye was going to end and then Spider-Man was going to come out, because that's how originally that's how WandaVision was supposed to be, and then go straight into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Mm-hmm. But obviously, because of COVID,
I think a lot of stuff,
Hawkeye, a lot of what do you call it, like postponage and stuff like that. Rearrange things. So I was a little confused. Like, okay, so how are they gonna do this? Because these are supposed to be tied into the movies, somewhat. So like, I was kind of curious. How is this gonna work? Where is this gonna take place between the Spider-Man movie? So going from Hawkeye, let's jump in to Spider-Man.
And to answer that question, I really do think that Spider-Man and Hawkeye are happening kind of simultaneously in a way. Because if you listen in Hawkeye, when Yelena and Kate are talking, she's like, it's my first time in New York. Like, I want to see this and this and that. And they mention the Statue of Liberty. And Kate's all like, oh, well, the new and improved Statue of Liberty. Because, and also, it's in the trailers too that they're adding to the Statue of Liberty. They're putting a Captain America shield on it.
Yeah.
So that's
and kind of bring that up. We finally did get the answer that she did get blip Yelena was.
Oh yeah, and that was a cool perspective. Like she just boop boop like right really fast. Yeah. So that was a cool perspective. But yes, Spider-Man: No Way Home. We waited
and waited
and waited, and we talked. We speculated.
We got angry.
We
got mad.
We watched.
I only watched one trailer.
At least I watched the all the Spider-Man movies over.
I'll say 2 trailers because I saw the teaser trailer, the 2-minute teaser trailer, and the official 2-minute and 15-second trailer.
Yeah, and then I didn't really watch. I didn't watch any of the TV spots.
Yeah,
I watched one clip, and that was the fight scene with him and Doc Ock at the beginning on the bridge. So I watched that, but that was about it. But hey, December 16, Rogue One came out in 2016. December 16 came out. Spider-Man: No Way Home. But yeah, dude. Oh, okay.
Straight off the bat, we'll just go right into it. We start off. The movie basically begins right after Far From Home.
Right after.
Pretty much right after. If you've seen Far From Home, you know that J. Jonah Jameson, J.K. Simmons, right? J.K. Simmons reprises Road. That was one of the big, like, oh shit, he's back moments. Like, you know, he's doing it. And, you know, announced that, you know, Peter Parker, Tom Holland was actually Spider-Man. And has been accused of killing Mysterio and for all the destruction that was going on in London and stuff. So
yeah, I'll say this right off the back. I think this is a really good movie. I loved a lot of it. Is it a good movie? Like, is it a flawless movie? No. Definitely not.
Okay, let's give our non-spoilers real quick. So, yes, definitely you're saying it's not a flawless movie.
It's not a flawless movie. There is a lot of stuff you gotta like, oh, okay, well, I mean, and I will say this. There's a lot of fan service. I'm not saying that as a complaint. I'm saying that as a fan. As a fan that got serviced. I'm saying that right now.
Whoa.
There is a lot of fan service, especially.
Hold up there.
Someone is, like I said, I just rewatched all the Spider-Man movies. So
I only got to watch the original 3.
So yeah, so like, you know, watching this movie, I've heard a lot of people say this is like a love letter to Spider-Man. For Spider-Man and Spider-Man fans, everybody who's kept up with Spider-Man movies since 2002 when the first one came out, and I wholeheartedly agree with that. This movie is for Spider-Man fans, for the fans, and they did it right. They did it right. They did it. They finally did it right. That's all I'm gonna say for now.
I'll definitely say there are definitely some big old. No, I don't want to say big. I did have some, you know, complaints about some of the stuff that went on in there. Some of the things they wrote in, I just thought it was pretty lazy. But overall, I think my big outcome of it, my big, you know, what I enjoyed out of it was finally somewhat getting the Sinister Six. Somewhat. I don't want to say that's what we got.
Yeah.
Somewhat getting it. Like getting because it started off with in Spider-Man, you know, he got the Green Goblin, then he got Doc Ock, and then in Spider-Man 3 he got 2 villains. Same thing with the Amazing Spider-Man. 1 villain, you know, the Lizard, and then 2 villains, Electro and Hobgoblin. So to actually bring in more, I was like, oh god, this
exactly, yeah, it's exactly because I was like, okay, I like the first 2 Spider-Man movies, the first 2 Spider-Man movies. The third one, I like it, but yeah, they do come in a lot. Same thing with Amazing Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man, the first one's a good one. The second one, they cram in a lot, but it's also a good movie. It has its good parts. So, you know, and that's because I didn't really like the first 2 Tom Holland movies. Like, and now I know why I didn't like them. Because the way this movie ends is the perfect way that I was like, that's the Spider-Man I'm looking for. That's the one. Like, there he is finally, you know. So I was like nervous. I'm like, and I even told you, I'm like, damn, I'm nervous. Like they're bringing back a lot of people for this one, man. I'm just like, I don't know how they're gonna do it, and like I said, they did it. Like they finally did it. Like,
so one thing I kind of want to bring up real quick that's not even really in relations to the movie, but to your movie experience. You went to go see it on a Thursday night show, right?
Yeah.
I went to go see it on a Saturday. One of the regular showings. Mm-hmm. You were saying you didn't get no previews; it just straight up went into it.
Yeah, no, it just started. Like we were sitting there. They had like the screen playing before, like all little ads.
Yeah, the ad stuff.
Yeah, with Maria Menounos. They had all that, and then
Nuvi.
Yeah, Nuvi. And then the lights started going dim, and then it just got dark, and it just started. I'm like, and everybody's like, whoa, like, and people in the theater were like, whoa, like, it's like I guess people were like waiting to go to the restroom, like, whoa, and then I was like, oh shit, it's starting. I'm like, okay, like it just started. It was weird.
And what theater did you go watch it at?
I went to go watch it at Huebner Oaks.
Yeah, that's right. You just said.
But today I went to go watch it again this morning, and they actually played previews this time. So I was like, but it was a different theater. So I was all like, huh. I was like, okay.
Well, Huebner is Regal, right?
Yeah, Regal.
Okay, so I went to go watch it at the Galaxy, the new Galaxy that was formerly the Galaxy, formerly Rialto, and now back to Galaxy. Yeah. But they really did remodeling.
Does it look different in there?
It's a little different, but it's pretty much kind of the same. But anyways, they definitely took away all those tables.
Okay.
So you have recliners and the little trays. But anyways, so yeah, when we went to go watch the movie, they actually did show previews. They showed I won't say them in order because I don't really remember them in order. But they did show Sonic the Hedgehog. They showed some Moon movie with Sam from
Moonfall.
Yeah, from Game of Thrones.
It's like Independence Day.
Yeah, it was the same guy that did all those movies. Uncharted. They did Uncharted. What else did they do? They did one other one, and then I remember the Batman was the last one.
We had that.
The one I was surprised that they didn't do was. I'm surprised they didn't do like before the actual movie, before the Spider-Man movies did. I'm surprised they didn't show like that clip for the new Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse.
Oh, Spider-Verse. I don't know.
That would have been cool. Like to watch that and then all of a sudden jump into the movie. Mm-hmm.
I will say this though. If we're getting to anything else, this movie would not have been if it wasn't for Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse really, really set the road for this movie to run on.
I still say the Amazing Spider-Man opened the doors because they were gonna do the Sinister Six. It was teased, and then Spider-Verse just kind of opened it even further with like, oh shit, there are more Spider-Man, Spider people, Spider creatures.
Okay, so real fast, I want you to, really fast on the top of your head. I'm gonna count to 3. When I hit 3, I want you to tell me the one thing that caught you off guard the most. The one thing that you're like, what? When you're in the theater, okay? Top of your head.
I can tell you right now.
3, 2, 1. Daredevil. Ah! Okay. Yeah, that came on left field too. But Daredevil.
I was waiting for it. If it didn't, that's what I said. If it doesn't happen, I wasn't going to be mad. If it did happen, I was going to be excited. I'm glad the way they did it, though. I liked the way they did it.
It was just real fast, and it was just like, and it came out.
And again, that I saw another thing about Charlie Cox. Oh, Charlie Cox is willing to reprise his role as Daredevil in the MCU, and I was like, that's too given. That's too given. Like they can't just premiere him in Spider-Man. That's just way too given because everybody was already expecting it. Like there's just no way that it's just too much. It's like we already got Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin in Hawkeye. I was like, no, there's too much. It's too much. They're not gonna do it. And sure enough, what do we get? We just see the
The cane.
The cane stick, walking stick.
Yeah.
In red, and I was just like, no, like right away I was like, and then as soon as they showed me, everybody was like, ah, like everyone was just clapping. Like,
I will say this though, I went to go see it Thursday night. Wasn't a lot of clapping.
Really? Oh man, there was a lot of clapping in my theater.
I was all like, I think me and like all people were like, when Charlie Cox came watching, I was like, no. So I had to like cut my mouth because I was like, I'm being too loud because it was that quiet. I'm like, and other people are like, oh my god, like it's him, it's him.
So I liked it when they showed him and everybody was cheering and clapping, and my son started cheering like, oh my god, and then he goes, who is that? I was like, oh my god, because he never really watched the Daredevil shows.
Yeah, I went to go see it with Julie, and I was all like, and I like grabbed her. I'm like, oh my god. She goes, who's that? It's like, it's Daredevil.
And I told him, I go, that's Daredevil. And he goes, oh. And he's like, oh my god.
And then it wasn't even like, it wasn't even it was cool that he showed up and that he was there, blah blah. And then like I don't know where he just catches the fucking prick, and then like look on Peter Parker. He's like, how did you do that? I'm a good lawyer. I'm like,
I'm a really good lawyer, dude. When he got the brick, everybody also clapped like, oh my god, like.
I was like, oh my, like what the fuck, like. Dude, a lot of this, I found myself, sorry, I spit. A lot of the times in this movie thinking to myself, like, is this actually happening? Like, is it like, pinch me, I'm dreaming, because is this actually happening? Like,
yeah, I can kind of say the same
times.
Thing.
Okay, so, yes, Daredevil was one thing to me that, like, shocked me the most. Like I said, yeah, I know there was speculation. People were like, oh, that was his arm in the trailer. I'm like, okay, now calm down.
But it wasn't. It really wasn't.
And just the fact that they showed him after that scene, I'm like, it kind of makes me think that they add that after the fact, you know, like maybe maybe it was like what do you call it, reshoots or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if that was the plan all along. I just feel like that was like they were like, oh, they think Daredevil's gonna show up. Okay, we'll give him Daredevil.
So I want to say this for sure. We were already kind of expecting, for 2 other characters to come and reprise some roles. Even though both of them were saying, no, I haven't been approached for it, or no, I'm not in it. Like, I'm definitely not fucking in it. Sorry, just quoting what Andrew Garfield said. And, we knew. It was like, we know you. We see through you, Garfield. We see through you, Andrew, bro. Like, yeah. We know it. I mean, fucking Tobey Maguire doesn't have a good poker face, so. No, dude. But, for them to really play off that, oh, no, like, we're not going to do Daredevil, like, or not even to try to tease it. It was more, I felt like that was more of a fan thing, like a fan theory.
I think this whole movie was a fan thing.
But because it was never really like insinuated by the studio, like, oh, we're gonna put Daredevil in there, like, and stuff like that.
Especially because Marvel now owns Daredevil, not Sony, and this is a predominantly Sony movie. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, and as the same thing too, like it was a good strategy for them to release Hawkeye, the episode that we got. Then we get Kingpin, and then that same week Spider-Man comes out, and then we get Daredevil. We're like, okay. They're definitely in this universe. They're definitely in this universe. Like, they're like, you just can't. Like, it's like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, when I'm watching Hawkeye and it showed Kingpin, I was all like, okay. First of all, initially excited, ecstatic. I was like, hell yeah. And I started thinking, I'm like, wait, are they gonna do another WandaVision thing? Like, where this really isn't the Kingpin that we know? So I was like, oh, I don't know, but this Vincent D'Onofrio, he's so good. And I was like,
I totally forgot about the Quicksilver thing.
But then you get Spider-Man, and Daredevil fucking shows up, and then he catches his thing, so he has his powers, and it's like, oh my god, like they're just like.
I mean, don't forget in the first season when the villains are like having their little meeting, they're in a a constructed building, like we have to hide because the hammers, the gods of the hammer.
Yeah. They never mention them by name. They always mention the incident.
The incident, or like
the green guy.
The green guy, or like the guy with the hammer.
The guy with the hammer. Yeah, they never mention by name. So yeah, like it was always in like put out
kind of insinuated
yeah,
that they were part of that universe, but
yeah,
was never really like officially said yes they
yeah,
are.
yeah. So that was really cool. I really like that. Um, I will say though, again, like, and I caught this the first time watching it. Not that I caught it, but I felt it the first time watching it, and I felt it even more a second time.
Ooh.
This movie is funny.
I'm sorry, hold on. We're drinking another beer here.
It's 8.7.
This one is from Legal Draft, also a Texas beer in Arlington, Texas. This one's called their Legal Holiday Winter Warmer.
You can taste those spices. You can taste those spices.
Yeah, this has really got some spice in it, and like Eddie said, this is a 8.4% alcohol. Woo, yeah, you could definitely taste that.
Yeah.
That is a really strong one.
Yeah.
I think I'm liking this one more, but that one's gonna give you a really good kick in the butt.
That one I advise caution.
Yeah.
What was I saying?
Funny.
Yeah, this movie was funny, but there were a lot of times in this movie where I was all like, okay, get past the joke, like, like the whole like happy, like we broke up. I was like, okay, all right, like
we get it.
Yeah, we get it. Like, it's funny. It was funny the first time. Like, I gotta keep rehashing it.
I was kind of the same way because this movie was like listening to The Cure. It was like happy sad.
Yeah,
and there was a kind of some little sad moments. I was just kind of like, okay, get over it, or not really get over it, but like, okay, let's find a solution or something. Like the whole that they couldn't get into the schools that they were trying to apply for.
Mm-hmm. See, I like that because it shows you right off the bat that like like that why he does what he does, and why he goes to Doctor Strange and ask him what he asks him for, because it's not only ruining his life, it's ruining Ned's and MJ's. Michelle.
Yeah, and we kind of got that in the trailer, but we got a more insight of what it was ruining for them. Like they couldn't even get into.
Yeah, just for some fact that they knew Spider-Man.
Yeah, like
I thought that was really. I thought that was a clever way of them. Of why he went to go, and at that too. Okay, I remember in the trailers, people were like, "Well, why is Doctor Strange? Like." Doing a spell for him, he's not even resisting. He's just doing the spell. Like, he said, the evil Doctor Strange. No, it's not. It's a regular Doctor Strange, but he's not the Sorcerer Supreme no more. Now it's Wong. It's kind of Wong's fault. I'm gonna say it right now. It's kind of Wong's fault because he even says, "Don't do that spell." Oh, come on, we did it before. Okay, just leave me out of it.
No, he goes, when? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he goes, exactly. Just leave me out of it. I'm like.
Just leave me out of it. I mean, dude, he wanted to go fight the Abomination. He was in a rush.
I was just like, okay, all right. I was like, and my mom and them like, okay, you're Sorcerer Supreme. Great job, bro. Great job. I love you, Wong, but better judgment, man. Better judgment. So yeah, like the reasoning why, and I will say this, as much as of a hard time I give Tom Holland in these movies.
Tom Holland.
He was awesome in this movie. He was so good in this movie. Like, he was so damn good in this movie. And I think again after watching this movie, I found my problem of why I've always never not that I didn't like Tom Holland, but why I gravitated towards the other ones, because like I always felt like because he was because he is a kid. He plays a younger version of Spider-Man, and I just felt like he always had that safety net. He always had that safety net, whether it was with Tony Stark, Aunt May, Happy, Sam Jackson. He always had a safety net behind him. And in this movie, people were like, "Oh, we're here, Doctor Strange now." I mean, yeah, Doctor Strange goes away like halfway through the movie, and he takes his on by himself. And yeah, he has his friends with him, but ultimately at the end of the movie, you find him by himself, like completely alone. No one knows who he is. He even moves into the shitty apartment when he.
Okay, let's not jump ahead right there.
But I'm saying like that's.
I know what you're saying.
That's what like made me like. I was like, oh, this dude, like, yes, this is what I wanted. Like,
because we'll get back to that too. But okay, so eventually now he's turning to Doctor Strange. to see if there's a way that he can get people to forget that he's Spider-Man. Doctor Strange is doing the spell. Something happens.
But he keeps changing it over and over and over. What about MJ? What about Ned? What about
May? What about Happy? He's like, I'm not.
He keeps changing it, and it just goes out of hand, I guess. And all that stuff, like the whole magic stuff. I'm like, okay, like, and that's because I like Doctor Strange. Like, I love Doctor Strange. I'm just like, okay, all right, let's get to the good stuff.
Yeah. So the spell happens. He gets kicked out, and so Doctor Strange is already getting mad at him. This is one of the things I hated, where I feel like this was kind of like just, I don't know, want to say lazy writing or what, but where he goes, so did you call the universities first to
ask them,
or how do you say it, to like argue your case?
Yeah. To reason with them.
Yeah, to reason with them. And he's like, no.
You can do that?
I was like, you can do that? I was in my head, I was like, yes, you freaking idiot.
And the thing is too, like initially, like, yes, you tell me. I'm just like, yes, that's what makes him Peter Parker. He's like, and then at that too, that's what makes him Peter Parker in this time. He's such a millennial, or like such a whatever you want to call it, Gen Z, to where he's like, wait, I can do that? Like, he's so oblivious to like old school techniques, like to think that's an old school technique that you just call and just ask him. Like, you go, wait, what? Like it's just like,
that's an option. Like,
yeah, like that was so funny. I was like, wow.
Like, it was funny, but I was like, oh my god, like, yes, that could have been like an easier way for you to like argue your case for your friends at least.
Just went straight to Doctor Strange. Yeah. Can we change time? Like, that was so funny. I love that.
Not even change timelines. Can you just wipe everyone's memory of me? Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, and then yeah, okay, so that happened, and then Doctor Strange tries to do the spell. The spell doesn't, Peter changes, so Doctor Strange, puts an end to it really fast. He closes
he pretty much kicks him out.
And then right away he goes to try to talk to the administration lady.
Yeah.
And that's when we get introduced to Doc Ock. And like, when I say that these okay, so much. These villains don't miss a beat. Like, Doc Ock came in, he was as good as he was in the second one. Where's my machine? He's like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Like, and then the whole everything with like their fight was pretty cool. I liked their fight. I didn't realize how strong his fucking arms were. Like the fucking tentacle arms, fucking waving concrete blocks and car. And like, damn, that's strong. And then the whole nanotech thing, that was a little like, I was like, wait, what? Like, when did he get control of the nanotech? Like, I mean, I know. The thing is, and this is one of the reasons why I always kind of like never liked the Spider-Man, because, like I said, he had that safety net. He has Stark's technology. Even though Stark's not there, he has access to technology to like do anything to get himself out of any situation that he's in. The fact that like in the trailer they showed the nanotech going on Doc Ock's arm, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like the nanotech is gravitating towards the arms. But no.
Yeah, I was thinking like Doc Ock was like he
was manipulating.
Yeah,
he was getting the Stark tech in his arms. Like, that's fucking cool. But he got it, and like Peter's like, oh, now I can control him. Like, wait, what? When could you do this? Like, when was?
I mean, it was kind of funny. Again, it was kind of funny because he's like waving and the arms are waving, but it's like, again, that's another issue I was having. I was like, okay, well, that was fast. That was dumb.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, all right. I mean, because and also just it's just funny because like you hear Doc, he's like, no, listen to me, like get the same thing again. Like, oh, I love that. Like I said, like they really would do a good job of like, oh, here's this thing, and like they're losing you. Like, okay, here's this. Oh, I remember that. Okay, this is cool. Like, I like that. Like, so he takes control of the arms through his nanotech. And then Doc Ock's like, "You're not Peter." Like, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like when I watched the clip, it was that clip where he's like, "You're not Peter." I'm like, "That's confirmation. They're gonna bring the other one back because he knows."
So then that pretty much ends the little battle between him and Doc Ock, which I thought was still pretty cool. It was still a pretty good battle.
Well,
there was a lot of destruction.
It ends with them seeing Green Goblin.
Well, not really. I mean, yeah, you see him in the distance,
yeah,
and then you see the pumpkin bomb.
The pumpkin bomb, and then Doctor Strange brings him back to the dungeon.
Yeah,
but like like my geek and movie heart was so warm when hearing Doc Ock Norman. I was like, like, are we gonna get Norman and Doc talking together? And, oh my god. So I thought that was super cool. Loved it. And then
so at this point in the movie, we're getting Doctor Strange brings Peter back, explains what's going on. That there's they opened up a multiverse. All these villains from other time
not
universes.
Villains. That people that know
Spider-Man
is Peter Parker are in our universe.
Yeah.
Why is it just villains? I don't know. That was one of my biggest things. Because there are a lot of people that know Spider-Man is Peter Parker. You get Harry. You get Gwen. You get Gwen's dad.
First of all, you can't bring James Franco back.
I get the politics of it all, but Kristen Dunst. You get Gwen Stacy. You get Gwen's dad. Eddie Brock. No, he never knows. He never finds out, does he? Oh, he does find out.
That's how he gets the symbiote.
Yeah, he's like, Parker? The one person that did not know was Electro. Electro didn't know. He didn't know. Because even at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2, after the fight with him and Electro, and Harry comes in, that's when Harry realizes that it's Peter. He goes, because he sees Gwen and he sees Spider-Man, he goes, Peter.
So it wasn't. and also he confirms himself that he didn't know he was Spider-Man because he's like, I thought you were black this whole time.
Yes, exactly.
Which kind of opens up too for us, like, are they gonna do Miles Morales?
Yeah. That was a teaser line. That was a teaser.
That
line
was a big teaser line because everybody, even Eshe realized it too. He's like, he goes, are they gonna bring Miles Morales? I was like, I don't know. Maybe. He's like, but it would be cool to do. I go, I know. He goes, shh, let's watch the movie. Okay. But Dad, it would be cool, right? I go, yes, it would be really cool.
So, one of my biggest things with this movie was the fact that they got Jamie Foxx, the actor, to play Jamie Foxx, the actor, and not to play Max, because it's basically Jamie Foxx.
Well, I mean, they also kind of explain that too. They go, when I knew, because
Connors.
Dr.
Connors. He goes,
Connors
where were you? You had that comb over and
yeah, you got that weird hair and a gap in your tooth and everything. And he even kind of admits himself too. He goes, I look good.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, why out of all of them, he's the only one that like looks different? Like, I'm like, why? Like, what? Like, why? Like, and this, like, I guess this is what kind of took me out of it. I'm just like, this is Jamie Foxx coming into this movie. Like, yeah, I'll come back to do this Spider-Man movie, but I'm not gonna be in fucking blue. Y'all gonna put me in there the way I am, and I'll play the same character.
That and plus, I mean, he got a lot of backlash for that. I mean, and it wasn't even his fault.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
It's not like he was like, oh, I want to be all blue. It's like, no, that was like the writers and the designers' fault. So I understand why they were coming with it. Plus, for him to be not like a big, not to be like a big, I guess like the overall character or whatever, I can see why they just kind of brought him in just to bring him in, just
just to be like that extra, I like the extra evil force in this work. Is like, I love this power.
Yeah, he just kept saying, goes, oh, there's some energy here that goes, I love it, I could feel it,
I just, like I said, like if they're gonna bring back these villains, like they gotta bring them back the way they were when we saw them, like Jamie Foxx.
Well, I mean, why did they do Marco Flint?
Yeah, Marco Flint. It's completely CGI.
Yeah, completely.
Because I don't think that the actors, the two, Thomas Hayden Church, who played Sandman, and the actor who played Dr. Connors, themselves, I don't even think the guy who played Dr. Connors was even back. I think someone else was doing his voice. I think the guy who played Sandman was doing the voice, but he was never on set. I think when they showed him at the end as themselves, it was recycled footage from their old movies. Because if you notice, when they go into human forms, they don't talk. And even like the Dr. Connors,
I kind of saw that with
Connors, the lizard.
with Marco.
He was like, oh, his hand.
When he's like looking, like before he
turns.
Before they send everybody back.
Mm-hmm.
When he's looking, that kind of reminded me of like a like one of the scenes in Spider-Man 3 where he's like looking up and he sees Spider-Man and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
I guess I don't know.
Like I said, there was I think they used a lot of like recycled footage from Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man, the first one, for those actors because they're not even credited in the credits, which is weird because like again, like in Infinity War, they brought Ross Marquand from Walking Dead to voice of Red Skull, so they could easily bring another voice actor to intimidate these actors. I don't know if they did that. I'm just saying. I'm thinking behind the scenes, like, logically, but like.
So, anyways, man, dude, this movie was there was just so much going on, so much. This is one I've been wanting to ask you. What did you think of the little battle between Doctor Strange and Spider-Man?
Oh, amazing! Like, not only the visuals, like I love seeing Doctor Strange doing his shit, and he's like just like everything, like it looks awesome. But the fact that Spider-Man was all like, oh, this is geography
Geometry.
Just geometry. I can figure this out. And I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. Like, I love that. And I love how as soon as he finishes, he goes back to Ned and MJ. I just fought Doctor Strange around. I think I won. And I was like, yes, you did. It was so fucking cool. I thought that was cool. And I loved how, because in the trailers, they obviously it was edited different. In the trailers, it looks like they're in a desert. In this one, it's like a desert and a city, kind of together.
You can kind of see where everything was already coming. Like,
yeah. So I was like, okay, that makes more sense. I'm like, why are they in the desert in the trailer? I'm like, that makes no sense.
Why is there a desert and a subway train?
Yeah. So like this one, I was like, oh, this makes a lot more sense. Like I was like, thank God, because that other one, I was like, what the hell was going on? But yeah, like
the only thing I kept thinking of with the train in the desert was like Toy Story.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, no, that fight was pretty awesome. I love how it was a way to kind of like in a sense take Strange out of the movie, so he to give Spider-Man his time to do what he needs to do. I thought that was really cool.
So I know I've been reading now. I've been reading more stuff on the Spider-Man since I've actually seen it now. I've also saw somewhere that people had issues with that battle.
The Doctor Strange one?
Yeah.
Why?
Because of the fact that Spider-Man but like overpowered Doctor Strange in
the mirror dimension.
In the mirror dimension, and not only that, but because of the fact that Doctor Strange went toe to toe with Thanos, and Spider-Man couldn't go toe to toe with Thanos.
Yeah, but again, like he, okay, like again, because to me, why it didn't bother me, because like I said, like he's smart, and he saw it. He goes, oh, this is something from geometry.
Well, I got my own thing.
Yeah, but I was like, he's like, he even tells me he loves geometry. He goes, okay, this is this, and he's just like everything kind of comes together, and then it eventually just happens. Like in the mirror dimension, you're like, that's kind of what happens. I'm like. So that's why I was like, okay, that was smart. I like that. That's cool. Like I didn't have no problem with it. But what were your thoughts about it?
So I was kind of like, how did he beat Doctor Strange? Like Doctor Strange could have easily overpowered him. I listened to another podcast that they were talking about it, and it made sense of what they said was that Doctor Strange wasn't trying to overpower Spider-Man. He was just trying to,
trap him,
subdue him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
trap him.
So it wasn't his full potential.
Yeah, he wasn't using his full potential
because
he could have easily.
This movie really does show that Doctor Strange has a soft spot for Peter Parker.
That and then what you're saying too about him being his smarts. That's what I liked about it too was that he they actually showed their smarts, all three of them. Parker, Ned, and MJ. Mm-hmm. Like they weren't just kids in this Ivy Leagues, high school. They were actually showing that this is why they're in there because they're actually really smart.
Yeah, it's kind of like how in the first Spider-Man movies, Toby is smart, but they don't really like kind of show it. MJ is just there. In the second series, Andrew Garfield's smart, and then Gwen Stacy's smarter. Like she even helps him. So in this movie, it's even better that they're all like they even showcase that they're all smart,
equally smart, and they work together.
Yeah, like one of my favorite moments in any Spider-Man movie is when Gwen's all like, "What did you try magnetizing him?" He goes, "Wait, what?" And she's like, "The time." I'm like, "That's so cool! Like that's so very cool." So shall we get to the big thing?
Okay, so let's start skipping ahead. Okay, so here's one of the things before we get into some of the big things that were in the movie. So the reason why Doctor Strange and Spider-Man are, and again, these are big old spoilers. If you have not seen this movie,
by this time,
by this time we begin a whole lot. And I'll probably even do a disclaimer in the beginning of this episode too. Like there are major spoilers for Hawkeye and Spider-Man. So if you have not seen either one, or especially if you have not seen Spider-Man, go watch this movie. Again, we're hoping that by the time this airs, you already have. So again, so let's get back to it. One of the things, the reasons why Spider-Man and Doctor Strange were fighting is because these villains that are coming into bless you, these villains that are coming into this universe, dude, come on.
Sorry.
At least turn off the mic.
It was off.
I still heard it. Oh. The reason why these villains are coming into this universe, is
they know who
they know who Spider-Man is, or they've battled Spider-Man. The reason why they're fighting is because every one of these, well, not every one of these villains, some of these villains have died in the hands of Spider-Man, or battling Spider-Man. Yeah. And that's not what Peter Parker is. He doesn't want to kill anybody because that's kind of. Well, I mean, we all know Beck died in Mysterio.
Yeah, but even that he didn't.
It wasn't Spider-Man.
It was a drone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, and then
he doesn't go out of his way to kill these people.
Vulture lived. I mean, he saved Vulture.
And also too. Then again, he's a kid too. Like he's not like trying to kill people,
So he wants to save these. He wants to save these villains' lives. Like he wants to change their fates. But Doctor Strange is like, their fate is their fate. It's if they die, they die. That's
it all plays a part to the bigger
plan or whatever. But Parker, the kid he is, he's like, no, there's a way. We should save him. So that's what leads to Doctor Strange and Spider-Man fighting, and that's a big thanks to also Aunt May. Marissa Tomei's character.
There's never really any big animosity between Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. It's just basically like Spider-Man's like, no.
Disagreement.
Disagreement, yeah.
Big old disagreement, pretty much. And so, that's also, not, I want to say thanks to Aunt May, but, because, Aunt May, says.
It's kind of her fault. You can say it's kind of her fault.
Aunt May, says is like, you know what you have to do. You're better than this. I know you're a good person, so that's the goal at this point in the movie, that they're trying to save these guys so that they don't meet a horrible fate.
Yeah. He's basically trying to fix them so they don't And before we get into the big thing, I want to say right off the back that, and again, it's not like a huge spoiler, or whatever. I mean, I know we're doing spoilers, but he was in the trailer and he's been on the marketing. Willem Dafoe steals this movie.
Yes, he does. I told you that, and I go. This is why we need to record this, because
Willem Dafoe. Oh my god!
Like,
not only in his acting, but like I was like, oh, like, you know, because obviously he can have big fight scenes, and he had some amazing fight scenes. I was like, I hope they don't. I hope it's not too like
CGI.
Yeah, CGI. But I was like, no, it worked perfectly. He whipped Spider-Man's ass, and also too, like, apparently a big complaint for the first Spider-Man movie was that, like, they put Willem Dafoe behind a mask. At the time too, I was like, I didn't get it because I was younger. I was like, oh, like, the mask looks fine. What's wrong with the mask, you know? But because people want he looks like a goblin. People want him to do those facial expressions. We get those facial facial expressions. He even does the Joker laugh while he's getting punched. He's like, ah. I'm like, oh my god, dude. Every time. And when I saw the movie the first time and I saw it this time, the second time, watching him, the Willem Dafoe, in these scenes, like, I can't help but fucking smile.
I loved William Dafoe in this movie so much because I really do think he really redeemed himself as the Green Goblin, and not even really redeemed himself, but even proved to everybody why he got cast as the Green Goblin in the first place.
This is what we wanted.
This is what we wanted. This is what we're gonna get. And he even, you know, when they approached him for the movie, I was reading somewhere that he said, I'll only do the movie if I do my own stunts and, you know,
get rid
of the mask. You know, which I'm glad, you know, they did, you know, that, you know, he broke it, you know, he's like, no, you can't control me. He breaks it. Then he finds Aunt May. Dude, he played Aunt May and Parker for fools.
He played all those for fools. I didn't expect that. I was like, oh, he's so
I was skeptical. I was like, there's something afoot here. And like, there's something here. Like no, there's no way that he's just gonna be straight up like, oh, I'm so nice again, and you know, I'm trying to control the guy inside.
Yeah,
you know, like,
and
I was
he's always stealing donuts.
Yeah, and he's stealing donuts. I love the way they even subtly give him, you know, the outfits to wear that later on subtly
contribute his
with the
hoodie
to the comic book version of the villain.
They gave him the hood. They gave him the little kind of like, you know, flowy stuff in the back. Like, but underneath, he's still wearing the goblin suit. Dude, Willem Dafoe like really takes this movie and runs with it. There was one part where he it's a slow-mo scene where like they're fighting in the building. He throws him up to the roof. He grabs. He goes. And just tackles him through the floor. I'm like, holy shit.
Dude, how about that power bomb he gives Spider-Man?
Dude, I'm telling you, like, he...
Like 4 floors down?
Jeez.
Dude, that fight scene was amazing.
Willem Dafoe.
That fight scene was amazing. Like, everybody was like, oh,
see,
yeah.
And also, too, on top of that, too, like, you realize, because, like, you see Peter getting his ass kicked most of the time by Green Goblin, and you're just like, oh, he's not used to fighting this person. Like, this is something he's not used to.
And not only that, this is pure evil.
Yes,
this is pure evil. This is like not someone with just a like diabolical plan or motivation. This is just pure evil.
This is the Goblin taking over someone's body. Pure evil.
This is the Joker battling Batman.
Yes,
just for the fun of it.
Yeah, and you see that too when he ultimately causes the demise of Aunt May.
Dude! Oh my god! Oh my god, dude! That's why I said that was one thing I was not expecting, and oh my god, dude!
So heartbreaking.
The way she just like got hit from the glider.
Not only she got hit, but she gets up. She goes, "No, I'm fine.
Yeah, and I thought it was like okay, we're good. It played me for a fool because I never really like kind of fought for that. I'm like, no, there's something more. Again, like, because that's how it felt with Green Goblin. I was like, nah, he's not this nice to just help. You know, like, you know, I was like, no. I was like, no, there's something, you know. And then when she got up, I was like, okay, she's good. She's good.
Yeah,
She's good.
She's like, I just hit my hand.
And she's like, you know, let's go find him. Let's just go find him. And then she falls. I was like, oh my God. I was like, no. I was like, no. I was like, no. Like, I started tearing up so hard. Even my wife wasn't sitting next to me, and I could hear her go like sniffing, and then like I could even start hearing other people too. I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God. I was like, no. And I in my head though, I wasn't saying it out loud. I was like, ah. And then she utters the words. What did you think about that?
I like that. Again, was it a little bit fan service? Yes, definitely. But I loved it because, you know, we get the first two Spider-Man movies where they actually show Uncle Ben's death. In the first, obviously, Tom Maguire, you know, he utters the very famous lines, with great power comes great responsibility. That's like been Spider-Man's thing since then. But
he tells him before he dies. He tells him in the car.
Yeah. He tells him, yes. And then he dies. And in the Amazing Spider-Man, he doesn't. He says a version of that. He doesn't say the exact words, but he says a version of it. He doesn't say the exact words, but he says it. Blah blah. That death wasn't so. You know, it was fine. And in this new Spider-Man, we don't ever get that Uncle Ben death. Not that we need it, because we know what happens. We just never get it.
We just get a you know, once my uncle passed. Yeah. He didn't even say Uncle Ben. He said once my uncle passed.
No, he doesn't even say uncle. He says when bad stuff happens to people.
He did say his uncle in Civil War.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't even mention his uncle. He goes when the bad stuff happens. And then you're, he says something, and he goes, I've had these powers for so long, blah, blah, blah. He goes, he goes, I have these powers, and then the bad stuff happens. He goes, he doesn't ever say his uncle, but you know what he's talking about.
Maybe I was just thinking in my head.
Yeah. Saying like he never really mentions his uncle.
I put it in my own head to say it.
And we spent the last, since Civil War, him, you know, Civil War, Homecoming, Far From Home, like his relationship with his aunt, you know, and it's there, and you know, obviously she's supportive of him, and you know,
I loved her in Homecoming, because like even in the very end when he puts on when Tony gives him back the suit and he puts it on and she's like, what the
ooh, this one's good. Finish that one. This one's good.
So go on. She utters the words.
So, you know, her giving him that speech of like, you know, like, no, like you have a gift, you know, and a gift is your responsibility, and we're with great, you have a gift. And, you know, this gift gives you power, and with great power comes great responsibility, you know.
Oh, God, yes. You started reciting it again. I'm like, oh, man.
And I was like, holy shit. Like, I was like, damn, she's really saying that right now. And I was like, it didn't hit me at first. It didn't hit me until after watching him. I'm like, damn, that was the Uncle Ben moment. That was right. We've always talked about the Uncle Ben moment. And that was it, but it was Aunt May. It was even more than Uncle Ben moment, because like it was even more. And
because we grew with this, and not grew, but we got to love this Aunt May from Civil War. Because from the first time they showed her in Civil War, I liked her. I really liked her. I was like,
especially to me, who doesn't like her?
Oh well, yeah, but like the fact too, like look who it is, and blah blah blah,
yeah,
and then like
Robert Downey Jr.
is like cookies,
and then you get and then you get Homecoming and Far From Home, where her and Happy are like a couple and this and that, like, you know, it's fun, you know, it's fun.
So before we talk a little bit more Spider-Man, we're going into a third beer here from our friends in Houston, St. Arnold's. Blissfully Hoppy Harmony Hazy Pale Ale.
Yeah, and this
I haven't drank it yet, but I know Eddie was drinking it, and he was like, you got to drink it. So
it's a wake-up call from these two dark ones we've been having, because oh my god,
this one especially.
Yeah, this one, it's gonna be in the fridge for a couple of days. This one's really good. But yeah, so seeing that scene with Aunt May, and it's like, fuck, like this is that moment. This is that moment. It was heartbreaking. I didn't start tearing up until a little bit afterwards. There's a scene where Ned and MJ, they don't say a word. They just find him and they hug him, and he's crying. That part, both times, I teared up.
I started tearing up again when that happened. I was tearing up. Okay, so I was already tearing up when she was giving the speech, and I was like, oh my god, okay, that happened. And then when Happy shows up and he sees her, and I was like, oh, dude, like, and then he's even helping him too, like
he's like, run,
Peter, run, like get out of here, and it's like,
yeah.
And then we get the moment.
Did you think this was?
We get the moment.
Did you think this is how it's gonna happen? Did you think this is how it's gonna happen? Okay, first of all, let's not bury the lead here. Ned's magic. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about Ned having this power?
I could deal with it because it's not like it's not like in Star Wars when the Force is something that you're born with, that's within you, but you had to let it out. Because think about it. Doctor Strange would have never known
They could obviously learn this trick.
Yes, this is something that they can learn. But they just have to believe in it.
Yeah.
And Ned
obviously
does believe in it. He's always said, like, I get these tingly feelings in my fingers. So I wasn't that disappointed with it. Was it, again, lazy writing? Yes. I'll say it was a little bit lazy.
I wouldn't say it was lazy. It's convenient
writing. Okay, I'll give you that. It was convenient writing. Yeah. I'll give you that.
It was convenient, but I also loved it because obviously in the comic books, like Ned eventually, in some iteration of the comics, I know some of them Harry is a hobgoblin, but in one iteration, Ned is a hobgoblin. So that's that whole thing that comes on later. He's like, I'm not gonna kill you when I get, But I was like, oh damn that because he has the ring. The whole thing goes does the thing. And he goes, show me Peter Parker. I'm just like...
No, but he's like, show me Peter Parker.
Yeah, show me Peter Parker. Just do it again. Okay, show me Peter Parker. And I was like, as soon as they show, I'm like, that's not Tom Holland. I was like, that's not Tom Holland. Who?
No, okay. So, okay. When Ned does it and he opens up the portal, this is where I get a little confused. It's like, okay, and I think they even like kind of... discuss it too, in like how did you open a portal to another universe, to another multiverse?
Yeah,
like why didn't it show our Peter Parker? Why did it show this one? But anyways, so yes, he opens it up and you see a Spider-Man.
I don't think it's from another multiverse. I think it's from their world.
He was already there.
Yeah, they were both already there.
Okay. So then then that explains it. Okay. Then that explains it. You know what? Yeah, because even he's
the other one's like, I've been looking for you.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, and I love it. I love the way it was because he was in an alley, like lost, confused, like kind of like a lost puppy, and he sees him. As soon as I saw the eyes, I was like, oh.
As I was like, that's not Tom Holland. Like that's not. I know who that is. And I was like, and he comes through, and like, as soon as he hears his voice, I'm like, oh my god! And he takes off his mask. I was like, oh my god! I was like, it's Andrew Garfield. Oh!
Everybody started again in my theater. Everybody started clapping when that happened. Like everybody.
The people in my theater were like, oh yeah! They're like a few claps, and then it just stopped. Like I was like, oh
no! There was even like people whistling and everything, like that.
Yeah.
Like
I was in my chair. I was like. Oh, I can't believe this right now. Like I cannot. And then again, it's funny and I'm biased because I love Spider-Man and I love these actors and I love just seeing them interact together. So like it didn't bother me, but in my mind I'm thinking like, okay, this comedy stuff, let's just get past it. Like the whole like bread thing. She just kept throwing bread at him, which was funny. Yes, it was hilarious.
Bread and then like, oh, my nana asked if we can clean the cobweb off.
Yes, that was funny, but just like I just like this joke was going on a little too long.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, bring the other one out now.
I was like, he's over here like, yeah, no, why don't you crawl? Why don't you want me to crawl? Yeah, it's not enough. It was not enough. I'm like, okay, all right, come on. Okay, like I know they're confused. I'm just like, let's get to it. And then he starts crawling, this and that, and blah, and then they figure out that. And I love how he's all like, he kind of already knows, like, this is another universe. Like, this is interesting. Like
this really exists.
His gears are already turning. He's like, so to him, it's not like he's not like freaked out by it. He's like, this kind of makes sense, And then you get Ned doing it again. And then you get Toby.
Okay. I love the way they brought him in. No spider suit, just regular clothes, and you just see him.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, I could dig that. I dig that.
You missed him. You're like, oh, Toby.
No.
Toby, you're so old.
He was so old.
So old. And then even when the grandma's all like, hi, he goes, oh, hi. Like, he does this stupid smile. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, and then
his voice, dude, his voice was so deep.
The part that gets me the most is when they see each other, him and Garfield. I'm like, oh, they're okay. I know we kind of skipped over earlier, but them, Andrew and Toby seeing each other was the same feeling I got when Doc Ock and when Doc Ock gets his thing replaced, when
he gets control over.
Yeah, he's in control. And then he sees Norman. He goes, Norman. And they start talking. I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like, Norman and Doc Ock are talking. And like, I know we skipped over it too, but like the villains figuring out like, oh no, you died. And oh no, you died doing this. And it's like, oh no, like Connors was like them figuring out their universe is like that one. Just like, come on, dude. Like, come on. Like, this is so awesome.
The other thing we also skipped over too was J. Jonah Jameson. I almost thought that he was fake as well, because when they first show him after he goes, we'll be back after these commercial breaks,
doing like a podcast.
And he's like doing like a podcast, and he's got the green screen, and then all of a sudden he's in a studio. It's like, what the fuck?
So what was that?
That was weird.
I just thought like, cause this movie has a lot of time jumps. I don't really necessarily tell you that the time jumps. Whether it be a couple months, couple weeks, but I just feel like he went from a little shitty studio to like an actual studio. That's what I figured. I was like, maybe he blew up or something.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk? I'm gonna go restroom.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe he was just like, just there or something, like, or maybe he was in trouble, like Eddie Brock, and just like, but so he was just like, I don't know. It was just weird. And for him just to like be there and then all of a sudden do whatever, it was just so confusing. But oh my god, I mean, seeing Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, I mean, and you guys, you know me, I repeatedly say that Tobey Maguire has never been my favorite Spider-Man, especially never been my favorite Peter Parker. He's just always just like this oh boy kind of thing. I'm like, shut up, and I was just like, dude, like,
you still talking about how much you hate Tobey Maguire?
Yes, but I was gonna say though, like, he really redeemed himself for me in this movie. So I'm gonna let you talk and see what you
okay. Sorry, is this on? Okay. When the two Spider-Mans come in, obviously, like, I was just, ecstatic. Just seeing these two actors together and interact and, like, even just, like, kind of, like, look at each other. But what even cements it even more, and I think I have to give a lot of thanks to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse for doing this first. Like I told Steven a little while ago, one of the scenes that really, really got me to where I was teary-eyed was when they find Tom Holland's Peter Parker sitting in his spot where he likes. I think it was above to school, and Ned and MJ just come over and embrace him, He's crying. He's in so much pain. And he sees the other Spider-Man. And then I believe that this scene was not straight out of, but took direct inspiration from Spider-Verse. Was when Andrew Garfield's like, I know what you're going through. He goes, no, don't you tell me don't you say that you know what I'm going through, because you don't even know. And he goes, I do. And you get Toby. He goes, I lost my Uncle Ben, because that was his biggest thing, his biggest loss. Where Uncle Ben died in his arms, and then dude, and then you get Andrew Garfield. Like I said, in the villain category, Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin takes the crown. He was amazing as Green Goblin. He was amazing in this movie. He turns it up to 20, and I loved it. Andrew Garfield, for the little time he was in it, after just watching the previous Spider-Man movies, especially Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2, him coming in is like, he's like, and him talking about his loss of Gwen. He goes, I lost Gwen, and Gwen was my MJ. God damn, my heart broke for him, because again, I just saw it. I think the Gwen Stacy death in Amazing Spider-Man 2 is probably one of the most heartbreaking scenes in any Spider-Man movie. And just the fact that like he just seemed to pick up where he left off. He was like,
I guess I was also a little surprised that he didn't mention his Uncle Ben either.
Because I think Gwen was the bigger impact.
Definitely was. I mean, she impacted that.
Wow.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Too soon. I mean, every time I see the Amazing Spider-Man 2, that I cry.
Dude, I'm not joking you. I cry every fucking time I see that scene, because it's so bad. But the fact that like he's like, I lost Gwen, and I can never forget myself. Like, dude, Andrew Garfield is not in this movie for long, but he's in it enough to fucking hit my heartstrings.
Okay, so let's jump straight into the final battle. You know, they have a plan. They're gonna cure all the villains.
Okay, before that, they come up with a plan to cure all the villains, and we get some of the best scenes. We get the whole pointing scene. That's the whole point. Hey, Peter. Well, we're Peter. Peter Parker. Ned, we're all named Peter Parker. Elijah was laughing at that part. He was fucking cracking up. That was so funny. And then at that too, like they're like, so we're gonna go into battle. You can dress as a youth pastor. He goes, no, I have my costume. And then Ned comes. He goes, here's some web cartridges. And then Andrew and Andrew and Tom are getting their cartridges, and Toby's like, "What are those for?" "Oh, for our webs." He goes, "Oh," and they're like, "You can do that?" And they're just so freaked out. Like, I'm so glad a lot of the stuff in these movies that we got to acknowledge, like, oh, like you know, you don't have no web cartridge. He goes, "No, I it just comes out."
But there was also some other like adult content in there too, because they started asking him like, so your webbing, does it only come out of your wrist and like nowhere else? Like,
and he goes, and they're like, have you ever had like any like troubles with it? He goes, oh yeah, there was one time I was going through some stuff. I was like, oh my god, like.
I even like when they started talking about like, you know, oh, so you've battled in space?
Oh no, he's like, so what is the weirdest things you guys battle? Oh, I battled a alien made out of black goo. He goes, oh yeah, I battled alien too. He was purple. I battled him in space. He goes, wait, you battled him in space? And he goes, and then you get Andrew Garfield. I'm so boring. I just battled some guy in some rhino suit. No, you're not boring.
No, you're amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing. You're not thinking anything. Like again. That was one of the jokes that like kind of went on for a little too long. He goes, "You're amazing, you're amazing!" Like, but it was so funny. It was like, oh, like I can't with this. It's so hilarious.
The other thing I liked too was when they're getting ready to battle, and it's just the two original Spider-Mans, and Toby's like, with his back.
He's like, my back, and I was like, as soon as I was like in the theater, I was like, in the theater, I was like, Come on. It's like, really? Like, he goes, pump it. He goes, he did a thing.
Yeah, he does. He goes.
That we do. I'm like, oh my god, this fucking movie.
And then he pops it and he's like, oh yeah, that feels really good.
I'm just like, oh my. Out of all three of them, and I'm pretty sure you've seen it, but I think Andrew Garfield had the most fun. I think he was probably the best one.
I was more waiting for Andrew Garfield to come out than Tobey Maguire, because I figured Tobey Maguire would be up for it more than Andrew Garfield, just because of the fact of because of what happened to Andrew Garfield.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's same, yeah. But even then too, like, I mean, Tobey hasn't acted.
Like, Andrew Garfield was willing to join the MCU, but the studio wanted a younger Spider-Man, which is why they went with Tom Holland.
Yeah. But dude, there's so much in this movie.
I even like too, like, oh my god, you were the Avengers? What's that?
No. They're like, I never worked in the team. They're like, yeah, me neither. He goes, oh, it's okay. I worked in the team. I'm reading brag, but I was in the Avengers. The Avengers? That's cool. Yeah. What's that? I was like, oh my god. They're like, Spider-Man. What do you say? It was Peter 1, Peter 2, Peter 3. You know, and he's like, hey guys, I love you guys. It's like, come on, like, oh. And then not to mention, like, that was followed by one of the best things I've ever seen. Was all of them running, putting their mask on, and just woo, and then they all swing together. I was like, again, a scene that I was all like, am I fucking watching this right now? Because this is insane.
Like, you just, yeah, I mean, seeing their own styles too, like, you know, the way they're swinging.
And their own screams. You get, like, I think the one scream I heard was Tom Maguire. Woo!
I heard more of Andrew Garfield.
I heard Andrew and I heard Toby, and was like, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, this movie, I mean, obviously we love Endgame. We love the culmination of all these heroes joining together.
I'm going to tell you right now. Endgame, yes, amazing. Infinity War and Endgame, amazing because it brought all the heroes together. For a solo movie of a solo character
to bring in,
you know, and to bring in other of the same character but from different universes, but in our version, different movies. Time.
And then not only that, but to like reference those movies. I'm something of a scientist myself. I'm like, oh, come on, like, come on. And then there's that one I sent you the TikTok the other day where there's that scene with there's that scene in Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock and Peter Parker with Tobey Maguire. He goes, oh yeah, Dr. Connors tells me, you know, you're brilliant but lazy. And then Tobey Maguire is all like, I'm trying to do better. And then you get the scene in the new movie where Tobey Maguire sees Doc Ock. Doc Ock has the arc reactor. He goes, the power of the sun. And then you see Tobey Maguire in the palm of your hand. He goes, Parker? He goes, Otto. I was like, oh. And he goes, dear boy. He goes, it's so good to see you. How you been? He goes, I'm trying to do better. I'm like, oh my god.
I wish you would have said brilliant but lazy.
Yes, that would have been so cool. Oh my god.
Because he does say it again in Spider-Man 2 when he realizes, like, Parker. Brilliant but lazy.
Yeah.
And I like to, I don't know if you mentioned it, like how all the villains all of a sudden were like, yeah, I was battling Spider-Man and I was winning, and then all of a sudden I got here.
Yeah, I was about to, That's when I realized that they were all about to die, but again, a loophole because I don't ever think Dr. Connors dies.
No, he doesn't die.
He doesn't die.
He gets turned back.
Flint Marko doesn't die.
Flint Marko doesn't die either. He gets turned back. Well, not turned back, but he talks to Spider-Man, says his apologies, and says that your uncle, you know, was trying to help me. And
see, the reason why, like, I was just kind of like, this whole everybody who knows that Peter Parker or Spider-Man is coming back. I was like, well, what about the other Green Goblin, or the other Hobgoblin? Because he knew,
And the other Venom.
Yeah, the other, yeah, exactly. Topher Grace's Venom. Why didn't he come back? And the whole Venom thing.
We'll get to
Yeah,
that.
we'll get there. Fuck that. Anyway.
So okay, overall, I think overall the movie was really good. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I definitely want to go see it again.
Okay, but before we end this,
No, I'm not gonna end it yet. I want to say there were a few, well, at least one Easter egg I really did notice because I want to go back to Hawkeye.
The show?
Yes. I don't know if you saw when at the very beginning of the movie when Peter Parker's swinging through the city, trying to get away from everybody, from the helicopters and everything. He swings by the Broadway and you see the
Captain Rogers.
The Captain Rogers musical.
Yeah.
And in Hawkeye, they're watching Rogers the musical.
Yeah.
Another kind of little bit Easter egg is
I'm sorry, you just mentioned it now. I'm like, are we gonna get Spider-Man? I'm not gonna get Spider-Man, but are we gonna get like some mention of Spider-Man or whatever happens in the events of Spider-Man in the new Hawkeye episode?
I don't know. So okay, here's the other thing. Because here's the other thing, and this is what I was asking earlier. Where does Hawkeye land? In the events of Spider-Man. Well, at the end, towards the end of Spider-Man, when he ultimately just tells Doctor Strange to go ahead and just do the original spell where everyone's going to forget about him.
Sad.
He does it. Doctor Strange does it. And, of course, Ned and MJ don't remember him. He tries to go to the donut shop that MJ works at.
Heartbreaking.
During this time...
that's Christmas.
It's Christmas.
Oh, shit.
So...
But then that would assume that the Statue of Liberty was destroyed before that. And in Hawkeye, they're talking about the Statue of Liberty. I'm not sure in what context, but they're talking about the Statue of Liberty.
I remember they talk about it.
Damn. It makes me think. Makes me think now. I don't know. I mean, and saying like maybe we'll get some sort of damn, I don't know, dude. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's so weird. Like it's hard to pinpoint where they're gonna go with this stuff. But yeah, like little Easter eggs like that.
But it's not also just where they're gonna go with this stuff. Everyone always wants to know. Okay, well, what's the timeline? Where is this in the timeline of this, and where's this in the timeline of that? At this point, I think the timeline is just fucked.
For real, like I'm with all these shows. I'm just like I started watching everything. I know you saw I was watching Falcon Winter Soldier. I finished that. I started watching Loki.
I really want to watch the movie again because for one of the main, not even the main part, but one of the parts I want to watch is when Doctor Strange is trying to close the other universes from coming in. You see silhouettes of other people and villains.
Obviously, you see
Rhino for sure, but I want to know who was the one standing next to him. I want to say that was Black Cat.
Okay, so before they show Rhino, they went up and they show somebody, and they show what looks like Kraven the Hunter, but behind them they show like a tail that looks like Scorpion, and then scene goes on, and then they show it again, and then that's when they show Rhino and somebody else. So I'm like, oh shit! Because first time I saw Kraven. And then I saw Rhino. Second time I saw it this morning, I saw Scorpion, and then I saw Rhino again. But I saw Rhino, but he didn't look like the mechanical Rhino.
He looked like
the suit,
the comic book.
Yeah, like the suit.
Yeah,
he looked just like this fucking suit. I mean, as far as the way it moves, like I was like, that's not the fucking robot. That's not the robot. The stupid robot. But yeah, dude. Oh, like. Okay. So the movie progresses. They eventually, everybody goes back to their own timelines. And Doctor Strange sets a spell for everybody to forget about Peter Parker. Which includes and I love that line. He goes, he goes, no, because everybody that knows and loves you, he goes, and he paused. He goes, "We're not gonna know who you are." Like he's saying that, you know, he's putting himself in that category, like that he cares about Peter Parker. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. You know, so everybody proceeds to forget about Spider-Man being Peter Parker. It's like Peter Parker never existed. And so, you know, you get Parker going to where MJ works, and he sees Ned and he sees MJ, and he even notices the Band-Aid on her, and he goes, "Oh shit, like what happened?" And she goes, "That doesn't hurt no more." And that's when he realizes, like, I can't put her in danger no more. Like,
yeah.
That he's just like, that was a final strike. Goes, and it takes, and he could, again, I know again Tom Holland a lot of grief. Okay. But in that scene,
just like the funniness, let's get to the point.
In that scene, you just like, you see him, you're like, oh fuck, like I'm not gonna put her through that, so he doesn't tell her. And then the movie ends with him.
I have a couple quick other things too before.
And the movie ends, and then you see him moving into this shitty apartment that Spider-Man is known to move into. That's why I was like, yes, this is the one I want. This is the Spider-Man I want. Not only that, we get him because this is a Spider-Man that has been wiped from everybody's minds. So he no longer has any connection to Stark or anything. So hence he makes his own suit.
Yeah, so
now we get Tom Holland in the original Spider-Man blue-green suit, sold by himself, no tech, just his suit. I loved it. I loved the way it ended. It was heartbreaking. It was sad. But I was like, yes. Because I know they mentioned that, like, oh, we're going to have more Spider-Man movies coming from Sony. This sets that up.
They're already announcing that they're already writing for the new Spider-Man already.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this sets it up. Like,
but here's the thing.
This is making a new Spider-Man without making new Spider-Man.
But here's the thing, though. Doctor Strange doing this spell, it was only just for Earth, right? Like the people,
the universe,
the people of Earth. No, it was just for the world.
Okay. Well, yeah. We'll assume so. Yes. Okay. Well.
So everyone off planet still knows who Spider-Man is. Miss Marvel, Thor, the Guardians.
Damn, that's right.
Nick Fury, because he wasn't on Earth.
That's right.
He's in outer space with the Skrulls.
Yeah.
Who else? So that also puts in too. Does Hawkeye not know who Spider-Man is if this is taking place after, or you know?
Yeah. But did Hawkeye really know? I mean, we assume that they all know. You know?
I mean, but he would have known regardless because he saw it all over the news.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Damn, dude. The next episode of Hawkeye has a lot has a lot to cover.
So now let's jump in. Let's jump in real quick. Let's talk real quick about the next two things, the credits. We obviously get two end credits, or one end credit, and I don't want to say a preview, but yeah. So let's talk about the end credit. Obviously in Venom, Let There Be Carnage, we got a real big end credit that, you know, was spoiled by, was that one spoiled?
No, it wasn't. But
I know you saw it. Yeah, okay, so anyways,
it was basically,
you know,
Venom found out.
Venom, you know, gets jumped into, you know, whatever, and then he's in the news. He sees Tom Holland, Spider-Man, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
So then in credit, we kind of get the same thing.
Troll. They trolled everybody who loved that scene. They're like, "Oh, you saw Venom? Okay, but here's Venom. He's in the universe. Oh, now he's gone. Now he's gone. No, he's gone. But a little piece of the symbiote stayed behind." I was like, I saw that scene. I was like, thank God. We don't want that shitty ass Venom in our in our MCU.
Okay, what if the symbiote is still there? It's still part of that Venom.
Yeah, it is.
Is he gonna still
shit.
find that Eddie Brock in that universe or?
Yeah, that's an Inception type of cliffhanger right there. They show the Venom and he goes.
That's like a not even just an Inception because Inception is more dreamy. That's like an Interstellar kind of like thing right there.
Yeah. That was I like that scene because it's like, oh, here's Venom. Oh, now he's gone. Oh, but little piece of symbiote still seems behind. So stay tuned. And like, okay, okay, cool.
So
I think.
Do you think the next movie is gonna be based off of that, or they're gonna work up to that?
I think the next Venom movie is gonna tackle him trying to find out who Spider-Man is and all this stuff.
Well, I'm even talking about even the next Spider-Man movie too that they're supposed to work.
The next Spider-Man movie, I think the next couple of Spider-Man movies we're gonna get is just him being Spider-Man. We're not gonna worry about him being Spider-Man with the Avengers, but him being Spider-Man with Tony Stark. It's gonna be him Spider-Man by himself.
But I'm saying too, but with the symbiote now in this universe.
But again, the symbiote's in Mexico.
Yeah, it'll find its way quick.
A little piece of thing's gonna find its way pretty quick. Yeah, okay, yeah, pretty quick. But
it'll attach itself to people and to get to where it needs to get to. But also
too, like
that's what Riot did in the first Venom movie.
Yeah. Again, but too, like you also gotta consider the politics of it all. Venom is Sony. Sony is making their movies. Venom, even though it's an associate with Marvel Studios, it's not a Marvel Studios movie. So they're going to do what they're going to do. And the next Spider-Man movie is going to be a Sony with Marvel Studios. So they're going to have to they're going to have to do something. But I'm more eager to see where Morbius is going as opposed to another Venom
So
movie.
now, are you a little bit more intrigued to go see Morbius?
Oh no, definitely not. I'll wait till streaming.
I'm gonna go watch it. Definitely go watch it.
I don't know.
Okay, so now let's jump into the other thing, the other big thing.
The last the post credit scene.
Yeah. Pretty much a trailer.
Yeah, it's all a trailer. It's just a trailer to Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. So I
don't like Moldor with the cornrows.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work with me. I think we do get another Doctor Strange from What If. That's what it seems like to me. What I have heard from now and then. Is that there's a lot of reshoots going on for Doctor Strange because the response has been so overwhelming positive for these like alternate characters, like as far as like multiple Spider-Man, multiple Lokis, because we got Loki.
Yeah, Loki.
So that they're adding more scenes with to add that element into it, like not so much multiple Loki Spider-Mans, but like multiple characters. Different variants of one character. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's what they're adding more to this movie. So we might see more than one Doctor Strange. We might see more than one Wanda. I don't know. This movie did not look how I thought it looked. I know.
It's still Sam Raimi, right?
Yes.
Raimi.
And a lot of speculations like, oh, like like we obviously saw Wanda. And then we saw some squid thing. That was the main thing, like some squid thing. I was like, okay, I'm excited for it. That's all I'll say for it. I mean, it looks cool. I love Doctor Strange. I'm
super stoked for this one. I'm really curious of what they're gonna go with this one, how it's gonna tie into a lot of multiverse stuff that we're being introduced to. I just can't wait. Can't wait.
Okay, so you can't wait. Let's rewind a little bit before we exit this podcast in this reality. Come on, Andrew Garfield redeeming himself. Yes. Did you get a like a crowd? Everybody was like, oh, when when MJ falls and
yes,
Tom's trying to get her and
yes.
and the Goblin grabs him. He goes, no. I like the first time I was watching, I was like, I was like everybody. I was like, oh. So the second time I watched it, I'm like, okay, let me observe everybody's reaction. So I sat back, and yeah, like he saved her, and they land. He's like, are you okay? And she goes, yeah.
And he starts
crying, and everybody did like, oh no! Like I was like, yes, everybody gets it. Everybody gets what's happening right now. He is so fucking good as an actor that, god damn, like him crying right now, everybody knows.
What's that new movie he's coming
crying.
out in? There's some new movie he's coming out in I really want to see.
Tick Tick Boom?
Yes.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. I want to watch it.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a musical.
I heard it's really good.
I heard it's good too. But dude, like the first time I saw it, like even me too, I was like, oh no, like he's crying because he Gwen. And then the second time I watched it, everybody's like, oh no. I was like, oh, like that is awesome. Okay, so we're gonna wrap. I think we're gonna wrap this up.
Yes.
But my points for this movie was that Andrew Garfield, best Spider-Man. I'm gonna say it right now.
Yeah,
Best Spider-Man.
I told you that. I told you that and you didn't agree with me.
Willem Dafoe,
Best Spider-Man villain.
Best Spider-Man villain.
Best Spider-Man villain redeemed.
I wouldn't even say redeemed because he wasn't even that bad in the first one. He was good. It's just he had a mask.
But I do still love Alfred Molina as
Doc. Yeah.
Doc.
Yo, no, definitely. He's a close second.
I still say they're like a tie right there.
Is this movie perfect? No. Is this movie the best movie ever? No. Did I love it? Fuck yes, I did. I loved it. It's gonna hold a special place in my heart because I love
Is it
movies.
worth watching in the theaters and not waiting for it? Definitely worth watching in the theaters and before to wait for it to come out on streaming.
Yes. I love this movie, even though there was a lot of fan service. There was a lot of stuff that like, they put in there to like make you happy. Yes, I agree with that. This movie is not a. It's. I'm not gonna say it's not a good movie, but it's not a good movie as far as like stories go and continuity. Definitely not a good movie. But
story wise and everything, yeah, definitely not a good movie. Entertainment wise,
yes,
hell yeah,
definitely good.
Hell yeah,
I loved it. And that's because, again, I'm not going to afraid to admit I'm biased. I love Spider-Man. I love the old movies. So this movie really hit a soft spot for me. So that's why I love it.
And I'm probably like one of the few that loves The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Not loves, but I still like it.
It's a good movie.
So,
yeah. Jesus, man. It's just crazy that we live in the time that we've gotten this, you know? Like,
we've gotten so much.
Exactly. Like, if I could put in a list, again, this is that theory I've always told you about. Go back a year ago and tell yourself, hey, I just saw Spider-Man Far From Home. I mean, No Way Home. Bro. I'll blow your mind right now. I'm telling you, like it's crazy to think about where we are and where we've been a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago or even 5 years ago. Like, we never even imagined getting this. And now that we've got it, it's here, and we're living it. Just take it in and enjoy it, treasure it, talk about it, laugh about it, cry about it, like everything. Just enjoy it.
Whine about it?
However you want to do it. This is why we do the show that we do, and we talk about the stuff that we do because like we love this shit. So, best movie ever, in my opinion. We'll come back. I'll come back at you with my top 10 list, but
we'll definitely come back with that. Yes. And featured beers we got from Fort Tap. We got the Gingerbread Party House or House Party Winter Ale. From Legal Draft, Legal Holiday Winter Warmer, and from St. Arnold's the
Harmony
Blissfully Hoppy Harmony Hazy Pale Ale. It's a mouth.
Yeah.
This one definitely be careful with. This one definitely try. This one good.
Yes.
So,
guys, thank you guys so much for watching not only right now, but for the whole year. I'm not sure if this is going to be our last episode of the year, but it may not be our last video of the year. Thank you guys for watching. Continue to support us. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Anchor Podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Subscribe on YouTube. Comment. All that stuff. It really helps us out a lot. We're almost at 10 minutes.
almost.
But, yeah.
That's all we got to. And cheers.
Cheers.